Hello everyone, this is Bora. Welcome back for another build showcase and guide, this time for the Javazon, specifically the Lightning Strike Javazon. This one I'm particularly excited about. I was able to offload my Boson and swap gear basically for kind of the best-in-class Javazon here. So really some great gear to showcase here. Very strong build and yeah, so we'll dive right in. I think first, initial comments about this is if you're one of those people who runs a lot of 8-man maps, this is going to be an extremely effective build. Definitely a party favorite just because your DPS is going to be so high. When I compare this to the Boson, honestly, they're very close. I think that both of them have pros and cons. This is a solo here is a little bit more difficult to get away with just because some lightning immunities you can't break. But that said, you have enough physical damage to get by, especially with your Mercenary. Just don't want to get running into packs of large lightning immunities. I will be doing a video comparing the two builds, the Boson versus the Javazon. Again, kind of compare and contrast their strengths, their weaknesses, what they're effective for. Again, and maybe it'll help you decide which one is better for your playstyle, especially going into the new season, which I'm sure we're all extremely excited about. For me personally, I'm going to start with the Javazon. I've been having a lot of fun playing this one. I am level 97 and a bit. I am looking forward to hitting 99, so I'm on my way there. If you do like my content, please subscribe. I will be coming out with a couple more videos. Specifically, I'm going to film myself hitting 99. I'm going to do one on how to get rich in PD2, and I'll also be doing a video, like I said, comparing and contrasting the Boson versus the Javazon. Both are extremely strong. Both are a lot of fun to play. Both of them scale very well late into the season. You don't hit a wall with your gear. You can pretty much always improve. So anyway, we're going to jump right in, and as always, start with the stats. Again, for pretty much every character in PD2, you're only going to be putting in enough strength to wear your gear. Unfortunately, just the way that my gear pans out, I am a little over-indexed on strength, but that's just how the cookie crumbles. For the Javazon, definitely going to want to max block, so there's going to be a large dexterity investment. I'll talk about shield options later. One will require less dexterity to hit max block, and the rest of your points in vitality. So I'm not buffed right now, sitting at 1931 life. So pretty tanky, especially when I get into the maps. If I, battle orders myself, even I'm quite strong. But if I'm playing with, a party barb or something like that, I am really quite tanky. As you can see, resists a little on the low side, and I do have a pretty strong inventory. I could definitely improve on my Torch and Annie in terms of the resist, but my Annie is suffering a little bit because I'm going for experience right now. Anyway, so that's pretty much always the stat rundown for me anyway. Enough strength, max block, and then the rest in vitality. For the gear, so yeah, this is an interesting one. For both zones, both the Boson and the Javazon, you're going to want to hit the max breakpoint for IS. For the Javazon, it's 95. It's a little bit tricky to hit, but certainly worth it when you do. A lot of people have done the math on this, and it is worth it to hit that next breakpoint. One of the ways in which you can do that is by having the increased attack speed corruption on your F Thunderstrokes. These are our absolute best in slot. Just F Thunderstrokes in general. You want +4. Every plus skill is going to give you a ton of damage. And so if you have this ED and increased attack speed hybrid corruption, which is very strong, you can only hit 35 increased attack speed. With just an increased attack speed corruption, you are able to hit higher amounts, like 45, which is super ideal. And it's just really gonna set you off on the right foot in terms of hitting your 95. Because it becomes really hard to hit 95 because you really want to use your jewels for lightning facets. Again, it just adds a ton of damage, a ton of minus resist. The more damage you do, again, you're just going to clear faster, and you're going to support your party a little more. For the helmet, this is 3 open socket griffins. I think this is technically second best in slot. +1 all skills, 2 open socket, +1 all skills corruption, so +2 total. 2 open socket with 2 facets is technically better. they're very comparable, but you do really benefit from another plus skill. So definitely, neither of these is a bad option. But I do believe that the +2 skills is slightly better. I use a +2 High Lords. Again, this is best in slot. You got the 20 increased attack speed, the +2 skills, bit of resist. The alternative would be, using a Cat's Eye because it also has the increased attack speed. However, you wouldn't get the same benefit of the +2 skills. You can get a +1 skills corruption, and maybe, it's obviously it's passable. But I think that the High Lords is best in slot here. So I'm going to show two shield options right here. So this is a +1 skills Storm Shield. Again, you just really want +1 skills on pretty much everywhere you can. You want that corruption. Going to add a ton of damage. And this one has 2 open sockets socketed with facets. Again, each facet's going to add a ton. I wear the Storm Shield because I do a lot of mapping. And the PDR is pretty important. When you map, a lot of the damage is either magical or physical. There's not really a ton of elemental damage. Certainly, the boss of the tier 3 map does some pretty explosive elemental damage, and it is tough to survive sometimes. You really got to be careful in that room specifically. But in general, the things that are major damage down there, the archers, the succubus witches, the archers being physical, the witches being magic damage, which you can't really mitigate very easily. The witches are always going to be a problem, especially when they get Fanat on them. So anyway, I do like the Storm Shield. The other option is the Gurkies. I don't know how to say this. The unique Pavis. Now this one's interesting because it already has +1 skills on it. The corruption you can get is another +1 skills, and then you can obviously have the 2 sockets. Now this is a really nice shield as well. It does have a bit of PDR on it with 8. It has a little bit of, it has quite a bit of resist actually at 30 on the top end. And this actually does have a better block % chance than the Storm Shield. And it saves quite a bit of dex. I believe for me to hit max block when I was wearing the Gurks, I was at 190 dexterity. Currently, for the Storm Shield to hit max block, I'm at 218. So it really does save a lot. Adds more resistance. Unfortunately, I wish could show you guys the tooltip, but my Valor actually comes off when I switch the shields. But you can see my resist improve quite dramatically. And it's a great option. You actually do definitely more damage with this because it has the extra +1 skill. Honestly, between the two, it's really a toss-up. I simply wear the Storm Shield because I like the PDR because, again, I'm mapping. I'm trying to be super safe, trying to hit 99, and definitely the Storm Shield, I think, is probably the better option. Also has some plus strength, which does help you get over the line for your Valor. You don't get the full benefit of it because you only need 9 more strength. It does give you, this one gives me 26, so that's why I'm a little over-indexed on strength. Either way, it helps you get to your armor. And I think this is maybe just a more well-rounded, but certainly the Gurks is a great option as well. For the armor, Arcane's Valor. So a couple options here. Actually, there's a couple of different corruption options for the Valor, but there's also just different armor options as well. So you can go, this is a 2 skill base with a +1 all skill corruption and 2 open sockets. Obviously socketed with the lightning facets. Now, a couple of other options that you could do is just a +2 with 3 open sockets. 3 open sockets being the corruption, obviously all light facets again. And then other armor options are COH, Chains of Honor, which is a really fantastic option because it does have +2 skills. It has 65 resistance. Super strong option. Definitely recommend COH, especially these Valors can get really expensive, especially the +3 skills. And then if you want to go a little cheaper, get +3 skills with a 1 open socket, it gets a little bit, it's hard to tell which is better between, some of the different options. And yeah, I guess the third option would be Enigma actually, and so this is You know, sometimes it's not always all about damage. There's a lot of pros about the Enigma. It gives you a ton of strength, and this build does require a lot of strength, especially for either one of these shields. This one requires 133, this one 156. If you do kind of a light armor Enigma, you're going to get plus strength. You get the teleport, which will support you, especially if you play more on the solo side. You do still get +2 skills, so Enigma definitely a great option here as well. These, I believe, are considered best in slot, although I think about swapping them all the time. These have +3 to Jav skills and 30 increased attack speed. Because they're magical gloves, only magical gloves can get +3 javelin and spear skills. And because of that, you're lacking all the other mods that you might want, like dual stats, dual resist would be, you know, obviously some pretty good options. So I think ideally here, if for up to me, I would probably go for a +2 javelin spear skills, 20 IS with the 10 IS corruption, as well as a couple of stats, some res, some dexterity, strength, whatever is available. I think that I would swap to that in lieu of just the extra +1 skills. I found that when I was statting, I had to invest so many hard points to get my gear on. So I do like the idea of having more stats on my gloves. For rings, I have 2 different BK rings here. This one is not that good, but it does have the 2 mana after each kill. This obviously could have 5 life leeches, could have 3 mana after each kill. My other BK ring is pretty solid, 5 life leech with 3 mana stolen per hit. Could be 4, unfortunately. But honestly, between the two, it's a good balance. You will find that sometimes you're losing mana, especially if you're attacking lightning immune or physical immune, because you're not getting any leech. So when you kill them, you're getting some mana back with the mana after each kill corruption. I think this is the only real good choice for a belt is a T-Gods. This one has the 10 IS corruption. Again, T-Gods, it just adds 1 to lightning skills. The plus skills just increase your damage so much. Can't overstate. In fact, I can toggle. This is just +1 skill, 1 buff. Who knows? It might add 2k or something like that. But again, like each time you make a concession on one of these plus skills, it is ultimately hurting your damage. So basically, you want to hit your increased attack speed breakpoint of 95 with as many plus skills as you can get and as many facets in your gear as you can get. And yeah, so 2 BK rings and the T-Gods. For boots, I personally like the Sandstorm Treks because they have 10 faster hit recovery. Again, I've said this in my previous videos, but with any frontline character, and again, this is the Lightning Strike build, this does not use Lightning Fury. With any of these, you're going to want as much life, as much PDR, as much res, and you want to hit that faster hit recovery breakpoint. I hit 86. I'm actually a little bit over-indexed on it, but we'll get into that when I take a look at the inventory. So I like the Sandstorm Treks again. These cannot be frozen because I don't get it anywhere else. That is, obviously an option. If you don't go for the +1 skills, Storm Shield, you can get it here. If you don't go for the +1 skills, Valor, you can get it here. There are a number of opportunities for you to get the cannot be frozen, but I've kept it on my boots. These also add strength and vitality, a lot of poison resist. These are just overall great boots. Alternatives are water walks. I think this is probably the second best alternative. A lot of faster run walk, a lot of life. Dex help you get to max block. These also have cannot be frozen on them. So this is, and the faster block rate as well. Really helpful in conjunction with the FHR, the faster block rate. You're going to be pretty tanky and you're going to keep yourself out of danger. And the third option that I would recommend, maybe some tri-res boots. These ones are okay. They're not great. The corruption's pretty good, but I would need a BK ring with the CBF corruption if I wanted to wear these. So that kind of is the gear. And so let's just quickly talk about, obviously some of these items aren't in everybody's budget, specifically probably the T-Strokes with the IS on them. They only have 15 base IS on them. So when you don't have this corruption, becomes increasingly hard to hit that breakpoint, especially if you only have 20 ice gloves, which are really easy to come by. The 30 ice gloves are much harder to come by. So, when I think the way that I look at this is if I only have 15 ice on my T-strokes and I only have 20 ice here, that means I'm lacking 30. What I would do in your Arcane's Valor or in your Storm Shield, use 15 IS, 15 res jewels. It actually rounds out the build quite nicely. You're going to lose a bit of damage, but you probably are going to be a lot closer to max res, if not max, and then you'll hit your IS breakpoint as well. It is worth it to replace the two facets to hit the faster increased attack speed breakpoint. So again, the ideal jewel would be 15 IS, 15 all res. The IS obviously it's always 15 on a jewel, but the res might vary. So anything you can find, 10 plus res is going to be a great option. And I recommend, obviously either put it in the Valor. I think I would put it in the Valor, and then, you can keep the facets in the Storm Shield. So that pretty much rounds out the gear. And again, just, a couple priorities to keep in mind. And again, we'll go back to why maybe Valor is best in slot. Huge vitality, 30 faster hit recovery, lots of plus skills. You can get the sockets in it. Just a great overall option. The vitality is quite a nice bump. So definitely like the Arcane's Valor, but again, the COH, not a slump either. And neither is the Enigma. So that rounds out the gear. We'll go into the inventory. This is a great charm that you can get. 5 faster hit recovery, 5 all res. You can get something with 4 res, 3 res. I think 3 is the lowest it goes. But either way, those are going to be solid for you to have. I've borrowed these from my Necro because I'm really trying to push my res to that, near max level. I'm not quite there. And then another option, if you can hit your faster hit recovery breakpoint easily, and because of this this dodge ability, I've put quite a few hard points into it. It does give so you get 1% per base level. So it does give 24 faster hit recovery, which is quite nice. So between I have 30 here, I have 20 here, I have 24 there. I actually only need a few more, so I do have this, which would get me there on its own. I'm at 74 before inventory. This would hit me to 86, but I've also just procured these over the course of time, and I just need the res, so that's why I'm using them. Another great option would be something like this. You can get 3 faster run walk with 5 all res. You can get 3 faster run walk with 11 to a specific res. So if you do find, for instance, I'm lacking fire, you could round out your build with a couple more of these fire small charms if you felt that you needed it. For the inventory, for the grand charms, obviously javelin and spear skills. 40 is great. 45 is even better. Story for a different day. You can't find 41 to 45. You can only roll them. So these 40s are pretty common. My inventory is pretty solid. I got a bunch of 40s, a couple 39s. But all told, you just want javelin and spear skills. If you need the faster hit recovery, let's say you can't afford the Valor, then you definitely want to prioritize the faster hit recovery here in your inventory. But if you don't need anything else, you can go for the lifers. If you feel that you run too slow, which I always talk about how important faster run walk is. You can get something with 7 faster run walk on it, or like I said, you can also go for some 3 faster run walk small charms. Great options as well. For the Torch and Annie, obviously, with any character, you want to go high on vitality, high on res. This Annie isn't great, but I just swapped Annies between characters because I want the XP gain, because I am pushing for 99. For this, again, you want to go high on vitality and res. You don't care about the other things. This one is okay. So, for the Mercenary, I use the same core set of support gear, if you will. I always use a Crown of Ages. You've probably heard me talk about it in my previous videos, but you can't deny the strength of this item. Faster hit recovery, reduced curse duration, res, PDR, excellent. I put a Cham in it for Cannot Be Frozen. Hotspurs, great option for pretty much any merc. You can use whatever you want here, water walks, War Travs, Inferno Strides, doesn't matter. There's a ton of good boot options. I like Verdungos for the PDR. Another good option would be String of Ears, maybe even arguably better is String of Ears because it does have Life Leech in PDR. And I believe Mercenaries do not gain life from Vitality. Yeah, I can confirm that right now. I'm taking the belt on and off. You can see that the life total is not changing, so the String of Ears is actually a better option. Always wear Drax. Crushing Blow, Life Leech, Ice, Strength, great Merc gloves, as well as Infinity. So this one, this is a no-brainer. Going to be the thing that breaks some lightning immunities for you, and basically is what makes the character viable as a solo gameplay hero, and also makes you kind of a fan favorite when you do maps because there's a lot of elemental damage between Dragon Dins and Tesla Dins and all that kind of stuff. They're going to love that you have Infinity. I just bugged my Mercenary, unfortunately, by taking that off, so I will have to reconnect to the game before we jump into gameplay. But I will go just into the skills first. So basically, really easy here. Just to be clear, I have not invested any points in Lightning Bolt and Lightning Fury. Those do come on the T-strokes, so don't skill those. Okay, and yeah, so for you just want to max the synergies: Power Strike, Charge Strike, Lightning Strike. Lightning Strike is going to be the ability that you use most often. You're just going to run up and jab. It's a pretty straightforward build to play, but it is a lot of fun because, again, I like being that frontliner, tanking a couple hits, having to be a little bit dicey, and you're using a couple potions and all that kind of stuff. It just adds a little bit of excitement to the game. I have been playing this for 20 years, so if you're not almost dying, sometimes it can be a little bit boring. And for this, I've just put 1 point in each of these. Now, just to be clear, you use F Thunderstrokes because you do a bit of physical damage. So you can crit, you can pierce, and you can benefit from penetrate. Not always going to be super useful, but sometimes I actually do. And sorry, I actually made a mistake. The Lightning Fury and the Lightning Strike actually come from the T-God, so my apologies for that. But sometimes if I find that a room is particularly juicy up ahead, sometimes I will stand back and use Lightning Fury, which does benefit from pierce and penetrate and all that, whatever. But primarily you're going to be using Lightning Strike, so really you just want to max these three. Again, I have not invested any points into these, even though it looks like I have. I don't use Valkyries. Again, my gear is quite strong. I don't really need that. I don't need a meat shield or anything like that, so I just skip the Valks. And I max both of these. Again, I like the movement speed, so I'm getting 40 from this. And I'm getting 24 faster hit recovery from this. No complaints. Also getting a bit of survivability from these two. So that's my skill build. Maybe somebody would disagree. I'm just going to reconnect here so that my Mercenary is not bugged. And then I will just quickly jump into a map. I know this guide has gone a little bit longer than some of my other ones, but I was really excited to show this one. So this is a decent map, whatever, let's do it. We're going to showcase this a little bit. Probably won't go all the way to the boss. Probably would just take me a couple minutes, and again, this is already pretty lengthy, and already finding the GGs, boys. So yeah, I mean, in terms of solo play, this is going to be a super strong build. And again, in parties, like I play with a pretty dedicated map group. We do about 30-40 maps a day. They notice if I'm ever sitting in town. I will say that. I've heard some people say on Discord sometimes, why is this going so slow? And then someone else will say, oh, Boar's in town. So definitely the DPS that you put out is massive on this character. Again, the Infinity breaking some of these lightning immunes. The Thunder down here in a tier 3 map, the Thunder Maulers are lightning immune. Here's just an example of what Lightning Fury will do. It still does a lot of damage, even though I haven't really invested any points into it. Just to showcase the damage, it does do 4.4k on the top end. You'll see now that I'm using battle commands, I'm at 25k. Anyway, I'm getting hit here, not really at risk of dying, but I will go to the first boss room just to show how this build does in a crowded room against obviously some pretty. I'm finding a lot of Orb of Corruptions this game. You'll see I'm losing a bit of mana here. Yeah, sometimes it's just a little weird. I do have the Mana Leech. I do have the Light or the Mana after each kill corruption on one of my BKs. I'm just going to pop a potion just for sake of this video. I don't carry mana potions because it's not typically a big problem. So yeah, I mean, I just have a belt of full rejuice, and again, there's never really cause for concern. So I am at the boss. You'll see he's going to melt. I could honestly you could solo that boss quite easily, even if you're solo in an 8-map game. Again, this character is just so strong. The DPS is crazy. You're killing stuff that's not even on your screen yet. Like, look at the things in this room are already dead. So obviously this build is so strong. It's so enjoyable to play. Again, I just love being that frontliner. I love any build. This is my 4th Orb of Corruption. Somebody PM me if they need some of these, because I sure don't. But either way, yeah, I mean, again, you're just this is definitely what I'm going to be playing going into next season. I just think that it's strong with mid-tier gear. It's extremely strong with end-game gear, and yeah, I mean, I just love that scalability, right? There's always room for improvement. I really think that I could benefit from maybe a really strong pair of Tri-Res boots that I just simply haven't found yet. Something with 30 faster run walk, 10% faster hit recovery would be nice. Unique amulet, I will ID that for us all here. Cat's eye, not bad, not bad. I'm going to finish this run or this video here by going and slamming this cat's eye. Hopefully I can get something good. I bricked it. Classic, boys. That's how she goes. All right, and a +1. Yeah, absolutely classic. So we love it. But this is why we play, right? If it was that easy to get good gear, none of us would have any enjoyment when we do find the actual good stuff. Anyway, guys, this is Bora, again, signing off. Please like and subscribe. I do have more videos coming. I'm probably actually going to try to put out videos at a more regular cadence because my videos have been pretty well received so far. I really appreciate all the support. If you guys have any questions on any of these builds that I've showcased so far, and again, I do have a guide for a Dragon Den coming. I'm just borrowing my buddy's gear for all that. He's got a pretty well-geared Dragon Den, so that one's coming down the pipe. Again, I'm going to do kind of the Zon comparison. So please like and subscribe. If you have any questions, hit me up on Discord. I am Bora, B-O-R-A, #7700. A lot of people have reached out to me with questions. I've definitely made an effort to hit everybody up. I got a ton of love via Discord. I really appreciate all the kind words that everyone's been saying. So please reach out if you want to, just say hi, or if you have any questions. I always respond to everybody. Otherwise, leave a comment in the YouTube comment section down below, and I'll answer there. Okay, everybody, thanks again for stopping in, and see you next time.